Everybody, welcome back to Ox Talks. So in my continued efforts to keep you guys out of the legal system, to keep you all out of court and the court system, and hopefully to keep all of you out of legal offices like mine, I will tell you, and we're going to talk about the home inspection process just for a few minutes. It's a topic that comes up frequently in my real estate practice, and it's very important that you guys hear this and listen to it and understand it. Please share the videos with as many people as you possibly can, especially people that are thinking of buying a home, younger couples, younger people that are looking to buy their first home. But this really applies to all of us, okay? So I get people all the time that come into my office. It's always after they have closed the escrow, and they've purchased a home, and they find out that something was wrong with the home, that there was a problem with a leaking roof, that there's a problem with the plumbing, there's a problem with the electrical system, there's a problem with leaks somewhere, slab leaks. It always seems to be something major, okay? Or they wouldn't be in my office telling me that they're looking at a huge fix-it or a repair cost. So usually people will say, well, look, I got a home inspection before I closed the escrow, so I must have some recourse against my home inspection company because they didn't tell me about these things. And the first thing I will do is I will look at whatever it is that they signed. Usually what's happening, guys, and again, this is not specific legal advice. Every state differs, the laws differ, and so you need to get your own attorney and get your own advice for your particular situation. However, for example, in California, a lot of these home inspectors are having their customers DocuSign their engagement agreements or their contracts, which sets forth the scope of what they're doing. And most importantly, most people don't read that. They just scroll to the bottom and they hit accept and they apply the electronic signature. What most people don't understand is there are huge limitations in those contracts. I will tell you this, in California, and weigh in, give me your comments. In California, most home inspectors aren't even licensed contractors. They don't need to be licensed contractors. They don't even need to be licensed. All they have to do is complete the home inspection education protocol and open a home inspection business. So oftentimes you don't even know what you're getting in terms of the quality of a home inspector. And a lot of times you'll have realtors that have not kickback arrangements with home inspectors, but they have, let's say, a short list of home inspectors that they use, and so they'll refer people, and these guys just become a machine with these inspections. But most of them aren't licensed contractors. If you actually read the four corners of what's in their agreements, usually it limits their liability substantially. Yes, there are laws on the books, for example, in California, that says they're not supposed to limit their liability to the amount of the job or what they got paid. They're not supposed to limit the statute of limitations, meaning how long you have to file suit, but they do. And then what happens is after the fact, you have some kind of an issue come up. It's a major issue with your dream home you just purchased. Now it's becoming a nightmare. And so you go to the contractors or to the home inspector and they say, well, you read your contract. I'm only liable up to what you paid me, which was $500 or $650 or whatever it is. And they know you're not going to be able to go pay a lawyer. You paid them $650 for home inspection. You're not going to be able to go pay a lawyer like me $500 an hour to go into court and ask the court to determine the contract to be unenforceable or a violation of that state's laws. Okay, so the cards are stacked against you, okay? And I wanted you to be aware of this because, again, not specific legal advice. These are suggestions of things that you can do to protect yourself. And I don't care what state you're in. Consider that the home inspectors, and I'll give you an example right now. I got a call from a lady last week who wanted a consultation. And she had closed the escrow on an investment property, and there were some problems with the roof. There was a rainstorm, the roof leaked, it caused damage in the units below. It was a multi-unit complex. It wasn't even a home, but it was an investment property. And she told me that the home inspector, when he inspected the roof, he actually flew a drone over the roof. That was the extent of the roof inspection that was done as part of this property inspection before escrow was closed. Okay, so these guys aren't even in some cases actually getting up on the roof, crawling in the spaces, doing what they would need to do, number one, to even see problems or isolate problems or note problems on the report. And then again, a lot of them aren't even qualified. Really, they're not licensed roofing contractors, electrical contractors, plumbing contractors to be able to even recognize major issues. If you read these reports that are put out after the fact, they usually contain a whole lot of caveats like go and see a licensed professional or a specialist for further details, right? So they'll always have these CYA cover their you-know-what language even within the reports, okay? So suggestions of what you can do. Obviously, if it's a first home, you want it to be a great experience. You don't want to be in a situation where after you close escrow, you have a bunch of problems. So what are some suggestions, even if whether it's your first home, whether it's an investment property, whatever it is, suggestions on big ticket items. Take the time, spend a few dollars before you close the escrow during your due diligence period to have proper inspections done by the proper trades, the ones that really matter: roofing contractors, electrical contractors, plumbing contractors, right? We could go down the list, but those are the big ticket ones. There are others I'm sure I'm forgetting. Comment below if I've missed a couple of the big ticket ones, but pay these people to come in who are licensed people who know what they're looking at and have them do some testing. You don't have to always do intrusive testing or destructive testing, but have them analyze what you have, all right? Because the home inspections that you believe are covering you do not cover you in most instances. Now, I'm not beating up on home inspectors. They provide a service. But the point is that was the idea of the title today, is you probably don't know what you're actually getting with a home inspection. And you are not really getting a thorough inspection by a licensed person in those respective fields. So guys, please take that into consideration. I was representing a couple of doctors, husband and wife, both doctors. They purchased a huge home out here in my local area and had a property inspection done. And they closed the escrow. Turns out a whole lot of things were wrong with the property, and I think in this case it was $80,000 or $100,000 to get it repaired. And we started going through the home inspection, contract, and sure as anything, everything was limited, liability was limited, and even though it was a $80,000 repair cost, it just wouldn't have made sense for us to spend the tens of thousands, or them to spend the tens of thousands of dollars to pursue the home inspection company. Given the language in the contract, even if it was against a statute, against public policy, things we could have had stricken and probably could have had the whole contract thrown out. But at what cost? At what expense? And to what end? Okay. So I want you to be able to solve these problems at a point in time when you can actually solve them, and that's not after close of escrow. It's during escrow, during your due diligence period. Okay. So when I use the word due diligence, do your due diligence. Don't just rely on a referral from your realtor or the listing agent's realtor to go get a cheap $650 home inspection by somebody who just prints these things off, changes, puts a few photos in, changes the language a little bit, and you think you're good to go. Okay, there's very little recourse, on some of these things, and I just again. Everyone's in a rush to close escrow when you're buying your first home, or maybe it's your second home or third home or investment home. You always want to get to that end goal. And this is an area where it makes sense to, take a step back, make sure you're handling it with the, let's say, attention and detail that it deserves. Okay. Now I'm going to get into the idea of seller concealments, seller misrepresentations in a separate video. It's a separate topic. Okay, I'm talking about just home inspections right now, home inspection companies. Okay, so do your homework on that. Don't assume anything. Read what you're signing before you docu-sign these things. And if you're not comfortable, take a step back and maybe go see a lawyer. Pay a lawyer a half an hour to look through it. a good contract construction lawyer and give you some input. Okay, I'm trying to keep these videos to 10 minutes or less. My teenage daughters told me if I have any intention of having the younger generations watch my videos, I have to shorten them up because the attention span's not there. They also told me I should start using thumbnails, so I'm trying to do that a bit. I'll leave it there today. Home inspections, okay? Be very careful. Talk to you soon. Bye.